How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing: always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about Chargepoint and as well as for SOFI. Both of these plays were able to post up green days. Not surprising, we did have some strength in the overall markets today and they were able to follow along with it. But with that said, I want to make sure you guys are prepared going into Tuesday. So if you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know that we have timestamps down below inside the description because I value your time, of course. So what we're going to do, we're going to be taking a look at the charts, we're going to be taking a look at the short interest, and then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts. So let's get into those videos right now. So we're going to take a look at the chart for SOFI. Let's see how it performed on the day. So I ended up closing at $5.13, being up 5.12%. On the low, it tested $4.81, and then on the high, testing $5.22. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 33.323 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 39.66 million shares. So we had below average volume on the day, but we saw some strength in the stock. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, the first thing I want to bring to your attention, not only is SOFI trading below all of our major moving averages, but you can see that we have resistance right here at the 9 EMA. It is at $5.22, and that's where we had the high of the day. So what does that mean? Going into tomorrow, I'd want to see SOFI actually using the 9 EMA as an area of support. That's where I want to see the low of the day. We had a low of the day at $4.81. So taking that into consideration, of course, you don't want to see SOFI going back into the $4 area. You want it to hold above $5. And if it's able to do that, then the next area that you want to watch is a 21 EMA, which is at $5.59. One thing to be clear about, though, we did have resistance back here on September the 26th at $5.52. I've talked about this 550 level already, so it'll be very crucial for SOFI to have price action above it. If we don't get that price action above it, that's where we can get rejected, go back to testing 5, and then we can end up back into the $4 range. As far as for today, it was good that we were able to post up a green day. You can see we've been having that back to back. So let's see if that momentum can continue. But just be aware, if we end up falling below that low of the day at $4.81, that's where I can see SOFI wanting to go back to $4.79, and it could even go down further to around $4.70 if it wants to break through the 52-week low. So we're going to take a look at the short interest information for SOFI. So the off-exchange short volume ratio is at 38.69%, and then for the off-exchange short volume, it is just over 6.45 million shares. Scrolling down on the page, the short shares availability is at 10 million, updated 8 minutes ago, and then for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 0.83%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the 29th, it is at 47.46, and then for the close of the 30th being at 38.69. So that is quite the decrease. And then when we take a look at the short interest percentage of the float being at 12.60%, SOFI does continue to have short squeeze potential. So we're going to take a look at the chart for Chargepoint. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $15.05, being up 1.96%. On the low, it tested $14.37, and then on the high, testing $15.27. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 7.08 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 8.324 million shares. So we have below average volume on the day, but we did see some strength in the stock. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is our daily chart, the first thing I want to bring to your attention, you see the consistency here at this $14.30 level. Remember before I was talking about $14.38, but we could just chalk that up as the $14.30 area. It continues to find support there. So that is one thing we're going to continue to watch. But aside from that, we ended up seeing a high of $15.27. So just below where we have the 9 EMA, which is at $15.39. So you know what I'm about to say. We want to see some price action at $15.39 going into tomorrow for Chargepoint. And if it's able to do that, then we could see if we can gain some momentum. And I would love for us to actually have a close above the 50 EMA, which is at $15.63. And then we could see what it would do from there. One One thing that is clear though, we know there would be resistance at that $16 area, so watch that closely. If we get a break above it, then we want to see it getting to $16.51. You've heard me talk about this level for quite some time. Now, let's say if we decide to break through this area of support that we know about in this $14.30 area, where could Chargepoint go to next? So the next level that you'd want to watch would be right here around $14.05. You'd want to see if it could hold 14 bucks. But if you remember, we do have a gap that needs to be filled right here around $13.28. So that means if we break through 14, there's a strong likelihood Chargepoint will fill in that gap. So please add that to your homework so you have a strategy depending on what the market conditions look like and what the price action is showing on the chart. But aside from that, in regards to momentum, at least you know what to look for to the upside, and you also know what it looks like to the downside if it decides to show some weakness. So we're going to take a look at the short interest information for Chargepoint. So the off exchange short volume ratio is at 40.37%, and then for the off exchange short volume, it is just over 1.30 million shares. Scrolling down on the page, the short shares availability is at 1.5 million, updated 9 minutes ago, and then for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 1.76%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the 29th, it is at 43.36, and then for the close of the 30th being at 40.37. So it did go down a little bit, and then when we take a look at the short interest percentage of the float being at 17.10%, Chargepoint does continue to have short squeeze potential. So for my final thoughts for Chargepoint and as well as for SOFI, let's start off with Chargepoint. So we ended up seeing a low at $14.37. You guys know how much we've talked about this level from the previous videos. I was saying that 1438 area or that 1430 range. So seeing that it was support, what happens if Chargepoint actually breaks through that level? That's where we can go down to start testing 14 bucks, and we also have a gap that needs to be filled around $13.28. So if we see weakness in the markets, I can see Chargepoint going in that direction, so please add that to your notes. As far as what we want to see to the upside, of course we want to see Chargepoint making a move going back to $16 at the bare minimum. There are other levels that I talked about in the chart portions of the video, so you're gonna have to go check that out. And upon getting to $16, which we know there will be a lot of resistance or sellers hanging out, we want to see Chargepoint staying above $16.51. If it is able to stay above $16.51, that's where I can see it continue to gain some momentum and we can move up further from there. So please add that to your notes. I know I sound like a broken record, but I want you guys to have a game plan if you're thinking about trading it, or whether you're looking at Chargepoint as an investment, making sure that you can get in at a solid position, of course. Now, as far as for SOFI is concerned, we know for a fact it is very good to see SOFI showing us price action above $5. But one thing that is very clear though, the 52-week low is at $4.79. We did not test that low on today, so that was great, but we want to see some more momentum out of this play. Most preferably, we want to see SOFI making a move to $5.50. I've talked about this range. The $5.50 area is very crucial. If we end up getting rejected at this level, that's where we could see some further moves to the downside. But if we're able to actually gain momentum above it, then that's where I want to see if we can make that move going to $6. There are going to be a lot of sellers up there, so I want to make sure that is something that you are fully aware of. But like I've said in my previous videos, we are in the month of October and we have earnings season at the end of the month, and then we also have midterm elections that are coming up in November. So I can see a lot of stocks gaining momentum, and SOFI and as well as Chargepoint I feel are going to be a part of this. So all of the price action that you're seeing right now, if you're an investor or maybe you might be a swing trader, I feel these plays are worth a lot of consideration. And if you are a trader, of course, you want to be checking out the chart portion of these videos so you can come up with a game plan so you could see, okay, where can I buy my calls and where I could buy my puts. It is very crucial in this current market that we are in. We are in a bear market, so when it comes to protecting those profits, it becomes even more essential. You don't need green trades turning red on you. I talk about this all the time inside of the Discord, and that's why we continue to crush it. So I hope you found this video helpful, and I will continue to keep you guys inside of the loop. We'll talk soon.